Thomas Homebrew.
Coming at ya.
And boy, are we. Today is the 4th of July.
Red, white, and blue.
And just before everyone shows up with Nutcase here, we're going to have a major, big beer. A big beer. But first, we have to have a big thank you to Ryan from Estero Homebrewer. The website's Estero Homebrewer at the YouTube channel. He just goes by Estero Brewer. Nice guy. Met him and one of his friends in Portland. We made a big beer trade, and it is big because look what we've got. The long-awaited and hoped-for Hunahpu's Imperial Stout by Cigar City. You know that's a big beer if you know huge. Beers. I mean, this is a beer that's based on the Marshall Zhukov, which we also have a bottle of.
Can't wait for that.
And I've got a cucumber stout from them, and I got a can of cracker. And I set them off with some good things as well. But wow, I am excited about this one. This one is aged on cacao nibs.
Come on, people.
Madagascar vanilla beans, Ancho chilies, Pasilla chilies, and cinnamon.
That's just good stuff, people. Come on.
I'm going to have Colin read off for you while I get this going, the description of this beer, because it's worth it. It's worth the time on this one.
All right. So I guess it says, in Mayan mythology, Hunahpu was the father of the Mayan hero twins, Hunahpu and Xbalanque. Hunahpu, along with his brother, Zhukov Hunahpu, and was tricked by the dark lords of the underworld and slain. Hunahpu's corpse morphed into a cacao tree, his head becoming a cacao pod, which in typically awesome mythology fashion, spit upon the hand of a young maiden named Zhukov, who promptly became pregnant with the hero twins. The twins would ultimately grow up to avenge their father and uncle and defeat the Dark Lords and ascend to the heavens to become the moon and sun. We brew Hunahpu's Imperial Stout once a year and release it only at the brewery. We will continue to do so until the end of the cycle.
It's a great story, but I'm going to tell you, I could smell it. It kind of poured out almost like motor oil. I mean, get a good look at that, people. Look at that mocha thick, chunky, chocolatey, thick head.
That is black.
Oh, my God.
It's got a little bit of brown to that, but man, it is thick. There's almost no seeing through this thing.
This is black. It's brown head.
Rich brown head.
It is amazing. So we got a brother over behind the scenes who took a sip ahead of us, and he's like, wow, blown away. All right, let's get a nose on this one, Colin. Now, it's probably a little cool at the moment, and I got that cinnamon coming right up through it.
Immediately I'm getting the chocolate and a little bit of espresso, but yeah, that cinnamon comes through too.
Yeah, the cinnamon's there, but it's an extra spice from the chilies, I could tell. It wasn't just cinnamon.
Yeah.
You got the chocolate on there.
I'm getting a little bit of the sweetness from the vanilla and definitely the chilies, although they're almost kind of hidden now, maybe because it's a little cooler.
Yeah, it's probably a little muted because it's still a bit cool and it's going to warm up. We can come back to the aromas.
Yeah, why not?
That's what I say.
That's still just it has a pretty strong smell and really complex for sure. A lot of things going on.
Yeah.
In there.
All right, let's get a taste on this one.
It.
Cheers. Wow!
Whoa! Wow! Immediately getting the cocoa out of there. Wow!
You know, the cinnamon and stuff on this just so accentuates the chocolate. You know, there's a movie Chocolat, and you know
that immediately comes to mind. I mean,
and they had these like little cacao beans that they would feed the men and women or whatever. They all become horny or whatever, and they talk about this extra spice. Oh yeah, I'll put it out there, and this extra spice on it, and it made me just think of that, how they poured chocolate on food and that whole picture.
Yeah, you immediately just feel that. It's not chocolate. It's definitely not milk chocolate. It's cacao. I mean, that's it's being thrown at you, and it's got the cinnamon and the spices. And it really makes you think of like a South American, just kind of like
The Mayan is great,
Mayan.
but it makes me think of, like out in the jungles of raw beans.
Yeah,
I mean, wow.
You're going back centuries with this thing. It's just such a rustic flavor. Just, oh man, it takes you back. You're definitely deep in the jungle.
Oh, this is so beautifully done. So beautifully done. Yeah, this was released March 9th of 2013, and it's July now. So it's 4 months, not quite. And so that's not too bad. And I look at that particularly because we know that the spices can fade a little bit. So you just kind of go, wow, were they even stronger?
Yeah, you got to wonder. It's definitely, it just fills your mouth. It's not super thick, but it's definitely not thin. It's got some nice medium body, and it's just so soft, almost velvety, I think.
Yeah, it really is. But that spice just makes it so rich, so rich. You already got this really rich cacao, but you've got those Madagascar vanilla beans that kind of round things out, mellow it, and smooth it out. But then you got the cinnamon that kicks it up, and the chilies on there. The chilies aren't super strong. They're like an accent on the backside.
Yeah, there's just a tiny bite.
I'm not gonna mess with perfection. I mean, I almost feel like I could use just a tad more of the chilies personally, but they probably did it just right. Truly, very amazing. I also get some like dark toffee flavors on there.
I was gonna say I'm getting kind of like a molasses and a little bit of like a char or smoky thing going on.
I've heard a lot about the espresso. Are you pulling that off of there?
A tiny bit, not as much. I got more of it in the aroma.
Yeah,
there's a little bit there, but it definitely, if you're getting any of that coffee or espresso flavor, you get it more in the back of the throat, kind of at the top, and it takes a backseat for sure to all the other flavors. It's just got so much going on.
This has a nice aroma. It's not an explosive aroma. We just posted the other day the KBS, which had an explosive aroma and an explosive taste. The aroma is not so explosive on this. So when you go to taste it, you're just not sure, and then just bam, it just explodes on your tongue.
Yeah.
It's just simply amazing.
It throws you back in your seat. You take a sip, and immediately you get some of that chocolate and then the cinnamon, and it just keeps punching you and punching you and punching you.
I
do
get a hint of some coconut on that. I do get some hints of tobacco on there. Maybe a little molasses, but more of the dark toffee on that side of it.
Yeah.
You get some of the roasted malts. But really, honestly, these flavors with the cinnamon and the deep, deep cacao and all of it just melds together.
Yeah. Even after you take a sip of it and you just get thrust back, if you let it sit there for a while and you just kind of let your tongue rub around in your mouth, you really get that cocoa coming in and a little bit more of that espresso. But, I mean, this thing, there's so much to pull out of it. It's such a huge flavor, and it's got such a nice mouth.
Well, when you pull the big 100 type scores out and stuff, these top beers, they're just top beers. I think a KBS and this is similar in a sense, but there really are more layers to it, I think, than those ones. This is more like when you go to your Firestone Walkerish kind of beers, But the very evident flavor is very strong, except for the chilies, which just kind of sit in the background low. But wow, I am super impressed with this. Again, for me personally, this was, this is another one that it's a big build-up and then does not disappoint.
Definitely not. No, this thing hits you right where you're expecting it to.
Just
it's
does not.
Huge flavor. A lot of stuff going on.
It's easy to say it's an A+ beer, but is this a 99? Is this a 100? This is a 100 beer. Yeah. This is just a 100 beer.
You can't fight it, people. You might want.
It just is. It is what it is. And those rating services and all the reviewers, they're all right. This is an A+. This is a top-line world-class beer. Wow. Both overall, I think for me and personally, it just hits the happy button.
100% of the time.
Thank you one more time, Ryan. This is one fantastic beer. Thoroughly enjoying this.
Yes.
To everyone else out there, life is too short.
To drink cheap beer.
And we will see you.
On the next beer review.
Indeed.